So people have, I'm sure they have projects that they've been wanting to do around the
Yes.
house. They've been wanting to have some sleep. I know people have said, "Oh, I wish I could take an extended time off from my job." And now that they have it, they're like, "What? This is prime time, people.
Prime time.
Prime time to read that book, to work with that coach, to,
Yes.
things that you love and you haven't had a chance to do it."
Hi, I'm Tiffany Stacy, and I'm your host on Cooped Up. And I am a photographer and videographer based here in Columbus, Ohio. And today, on the show, I have Miss Dr. Tina Diggs. She's the founder of Be Intentional LLC. She's a life and career coach, speaker, and accountability partner here in Columbus, Ohio. So welcome to Cooped Up, Tina.
Oh my goodness, I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So can you share a little bit with my viewers, like exactly what a life coach is and what you do in your business?
Yes. And so coaching is really about a partnership. It is a collaboration between the client and the coach, and it allows the coach to really provide some thought-provoking questions and assist in a very creative process that inspires, that motivates, and provides accountability. And really helps people to move from point A to point B regarding their goals. As a coach, it is my responsibility to listen, to ask questions, and to help guide. It's an opportunity to connect with someone who has the knowledge and the expertise to help them to really pull back the layers to gain some clarity and some direction.
So tell me, like, who are your target clients? Who do you normally work with?
I predominantly work with women. I definitely have worked with men as well in the past. My coaching is one-on-one, and I'm able to customize that based on the needs of the client and what they have shared with me. Also, one of the great aspects of my program, it is virtual. So I really allow this platform that you have me on right here. And it really gives me an opportunity to connect with people by way of email, by phone, by video. And I'm working with people all across the world because you're able to connect in such a way that meets them wherever they may be. And so that has been wonderful for me in terms of my coaching. All right. And also, I'm really passionate about self-care and coaching. So my target is me. My target would be you. And the target is anyone across the world who is really wanting to make some changes with themselves, or just to understand who they are, what it is that they want, and their purpose. Whether it's a coach that is helping someone from a physical standpoint, like trainers or fitness trainers, or financial coach in terms of our money and our finances and what we're doing, a spiritual coach, or life and career. So a coach to me is very important. And with that Oprah saying, "You get a coach, you get a coach, and you get a coach."
Yes.
Everyone should have a personal coach, someone who is in their corner, that supports them, and also able to help guide and hold them accountable.
Okay. Well, so I'm curious to know what really inspired you to get in this type of work, and yeah.
Yeah, so what inspired me to get into this work? I've always been a person who, my family and my friends, I've been that go-to.
You've been no person that gives advice. And
yes, that has just been my makeup, and I believe it is my purpose and it's my passion. And so I fully operate within that. At the same time, I obtained my bachelor's degree in psychology. My master's degree is in counseling. And so for the first half of my career, I was providing individual and family group therapy to adolescents as well as adults. And I utilized those practices and skills throughout my entire career when I work with teams and helping them to develop and to help people as far as, again, in moving into that next track of their life and whatever that might look like. And then also, oh my goodness, Tiffany, I think I shared with you personally, but also I want to share with your viewers, is that I took the biggest leap of my life back in November of 2016. I resigned from my job.
Oh, well, we know we both have that in common now.
Exactly. And so I did that to pursue my dream of traveling abroad, and then also to really hit the reset button for myself and determine what was my next move. And so I remember having Paris on my vision board back in 2008. And so in 2017, I was walking up the Eiffel Tower. And so I am all a believer of vision boards and setting a direction, a path in our life of what we desire, and to actually working with a coach. And I work with coaches myself personally, and it has made a difference in my life. And so I took the time to reflect and to determine as far as what was my next. And so after that sabbatical for me, I returned to the workforce. I did accept a position with an amazing college, because I have my doctorate degree in leadership and management in higher education. And so I currently serve as the dean. And then also I decided to take my love of coaching and empowering others and combining that with my education experience and helping clients to really transform their thinking and to create, as far as their professional confidence and the life that they desire. So Be Intentional became live.
So what is a common problem that you see with people who set goals and that are trying to live a life that's intentional? Like, what is a problem? Where do you see someone getting the most stuck at?
I offer a discovery call with all prospective clients, and I definitely want to offer that to your viewers to connect with me. And I know that we'll probably talk about at the end a way for your viewers to connect with me. But in that discovery call, most of the things that I'm hearing from people that they're struggling with and trying to determine, if and how I can help them. But they're saying to me that they're challenged with their desire at their current job. How do they move and to elevate themselves on their current job? How do they interact with their boss sometimes? Or how are they able to ask for that promotion or to receive an increase in their salary, and how to negotiate that process? Sometimes it is a matter of knowing and understanding what is the difference between a sponsor versus a mentor, and knowing the language and how to leverage themselves in that respect. Sometimes many of my prospective clients, they talk about not knowing what their purpose is, or they've been in a career or in a position or in a relationship, and they're not sure if that's something to where they want to continue in that. It's really identifying fears and really, like I said earlier, peeling back those layers of uncovering who they are, their authentic self, and being able to operate in that space.
So what do you say to someone that's not like really sure of what their purpose is, and how can they figure that out? What would be your advice on that?
One of the first steps I would say is acknowledging the fact that they need additional help. Because sometimes people will say to me, well, why would I need a coach? I know these things on my own. And we might know them, but do we follow through with them? Do we apply them? And so that's where that accountability comes in. That's where that support, motivation, and encouragement comes in, that of having that extra person and that coach to help facilitate that process is very impactful. And so to really peel back those layers, a lot of the time I'm spending the first several sessions of a person just getting to know who they are. And so, yes, a person may have that desire to make those changes, and it's not going to happen overnight because they're not who they are overnight. That has been built up over experiences, over situations, and just their personality and their style. So I spend a lot of time addressing mindset, of moving a person from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset, of being able to say, what are your thoughts? What are your feelings? What is your voice? And that takes time to peel back those layers and to reveal that for themselves, and to know and understand what that may mean and what that may look like. And so what they say in that discovery call, they really discover themselves through the process.
Now, you had mentioned earlier the differences between having a sponsor and a mentor. What, I've heard this term before, but what is that?
You know, a mentor is someone who has lived that experience or worked in that particular environment, or have addressed that particular matter themselves, that they can provide support, they can provide insight and direction, and also hear and listen to that other person's circumstance and really connect with them in that way. Whereas a sponsor is someone who has the inside track. They're sitting at a particular table that they want to become a part of. They have a voice with others that will get them connected and to help elevate them into an experience or position that they've been wanting to move into.
So you had said earlier about identifying fears. What are some fears that you've seen with people getting to that next step in their life, and what are some ideas on how they could step out of that fear?
Mm-hmm. One of the things I talk about of how we identify fears, and really making it personal or relatable in the sense of, is false. Now this is where I'm going to pause. Fears. False evidence appearing real. It is. So fears, let's say it again together. Fear
is false evidence appearing real.
And, you know, our mind is in a fight or flight state. And when situations stir up in us, our mind gravitates to, should I run? Or should I fight? Or what the situation is. Our mind doesn't know the difference between this is something that is going to harm me versus this is something that is a new experience and different from me. And so our fearful state will say, should I run, or should I hide, or should I fight in this situation? Whereas it is something that's new and different, and it's something that I should stick it through and follow through with, and I will come out on the other side. This particular situation that we have with the COVID-19, it has brought up a lot of fear and anxiety in all of us. At the same time, we have to look at it in the terms of, how can I control my controllables? I talk about that with my teams all the time. There are certain things I cannot control, but then I can acknowledge and be aware of my fear or my anxiety, but I need to play that tape all the way out. I know that at some point in time, we are going to be on the other side of this, and to not stay stuck in that place of fear. But what is it that I can manage and control to address that? And so by being, again, open and authentic and true to myself, and being compassionate with myself as far as what I'm feeling and experiencing, it's important to do that. Also, at the same time, play that out and saying, what does that mean for me on the long haul? What is it that I can do right now to manage that? How can I work with my coach and be open and honest and talk about those things? What are some things that I can work on to address it? Those are all key and important within that aspect.
Hmm. Now, what are some things that are controllable fears or controllable? I guess, yeah, is that the term, controllable?
I just kind of say control the controllables,
Yeah,
because we
control
can't
the
control the
controllables.
fact that the COVID-19 is here and it's something that we're having to address. But what I can control is how I manage my day. Do I just sit at the TV and watch the news constantly? Am I tapping into Netflix and watching all these movies that are talking about viruses and epidemics? And it will overwhelm my mind and really can make me stuck, and of not allow me to move forward. Whereas if I come from a place of acknowledgement, but I'm journaling or I'm creating a schedule of events of what my day looks like. I'm feeding my spirit by things that give me joy and excitement because I'm connecting with friends, but I'm doing it from a virtual standpoint because I'm a people person. And
Yeah,
so
yes,
it has not been the easiest as far as to be shelter in place, but I know it's for the good of myself and others. But I'm being very intentional about the way that I connect. And so I set up a virtual family call with my family for every Sunday. I had recently a phone conversation, and I'm utilizing what's that resource called on my phone? I have to look. Let's see. The resource is where you can leave, Marco Polo. And so Marco Polo is another way. So you just want to find ways to where you're able to manage those thoughts or fears. And another piece, kind of going back to what you were talking about earlier, fears can show up as far as procrastination. They can show
mm,
up as far as uh, being a perfectionist.
mm,
They can show up in the sense of, um, you know,
yeah.
delayed action.
And
Many different ways fear will show itself.
I could definitely relate to that. Like, especially being a woman entrepreneur, and it's just like, I mean, I'm a perfectionist, and so I understand that fear of constantly feeling like if it's not right, then I'm not going to put it out there. But I think as I've gotten older, I've understood that, sometimes even getting, like, someone once told me, like, even if it's about 80% of what your expectations are, still put it out there.
Oh my
Because,
goodness. Yes. I
yes,
know what you mean, because when I started doing videos and I would do the video over and
yep,
over and over again, you will always find something. But the
always.
thing is, just put it out there. It is, and that's where, when I going back to the shifting the mindset from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset, is a growth mindset. It's about learning. There is no failure. But if we stay fixed and say, I don't know how to do and understand math, or I'm not good at videos, or I just don't do well in public speaking,
Yes,
or, whatever the case may be, you can insert your own situation within that. And if
yes,
you stay stuck in that, that's the way that it will always be. But if you
yes,
have from a growth mindset of saying, I will grow into this, I will learn this, and I will improve as I go. Oh my goodness, sky is
yeah.
the limit as far as what you will experience for yourself in the newness and the confidence, and what your goals and desires that you can accomplish.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that because so I don't know if you're familiar with Toastmasters. I did Toastmasters for
Yes.
about 4 years because of my fear of public speaking, and I just like I I procrastinated on the speeches, but I finally got it done. got my 10 speeches done. And I must say that I learned so much about myself during that time, just how to like manage my nervousness
Oh
and
my
be able to
goodness, yes.
yes, and being able to
Good for
present.
you.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely trying, but I
It just
definitely
takes
now
us out of our comfort zone.
it really does. And it's just like I think a lot of times people get stuck in the fact of like, they think about all these scenarios, but you know what? You just gotta like continue to put yourself out there and you know, for me with Toastmaster, it was a painful experience every time. But I was just like, once I got to that last speech, and even now, I mean, doing videos that's helped me, and talking to you and getting out there. It's like continue to be putting myself out there to, work through that fear. So it's yeah, you have
Yes.
to.
You're
Yeah.
you're spot on as far as in the need to put yourself out there, because the way that our mind works, our mind usually doesn't formulate the storyline to where it's going to be wonderful
Oh
and
yeah.
there's going to be a positive outcome. We have a tendency to formulate a storyline that is quite scary and that something terrible is going to happen.
Oh yeah.
And again, when that fight or flight comes into play, it plays the tape out in a negative way. But I really encourage my clients to play the tape out and play the tape out based on your memory of your previous actions when you stepped out before. And I would say the same thing to you, Tiffany, in terms of you stepped out and had gone to Toastmasters, and how that has benefited your business, how that has benefited you in interactions. And when you play that tape out, then that is the authentic truth and the real story,
Yep.
right? Versus what your mind would have told you. And so when you go into that next situation to where you're considering something new that might be scary or fearful, then you want to go back to that experience of when you did something scary and fearful, Toastmasters, and the outcome of that. And so that's playing the tape out to the real outcome versus what our mind sometimes would try to guide us on.
Yeah, because I mean, I guess that's just really just a reprogramming, of our
Yes.
mind. Yeah, basically. And so,
I like that, the reprogramming of the mind.
hey, yeah, I'm all about that. It's just like I'm all about, growth. And this is why I wanted to talk to you because I know we've had many conversations about, just getting better and, just having better interactions with people and relationships. And it's just that's a very important part of just life. I think a lot of people miss things like this because, again, like I said, the fear and it's just
Mm-hmm.
unfortunate. So my question to you is how do you, since with all this whole COVID-19 stuff going on, what is your advice on how to stay focused during a time like this? Because I know it's as you were saying earlier, it's easy to get wrapped up in what's on the news, but what can you intentionally do to stay focused on like your career, your dreams? Because I know there's a lot of uncertainty right now. What would you say?
One of the things that I had mentioned earlier is that I'm a people person. I love the outdoors. Thank goodness that we've had sun for the last couple of days here in Ohio.
Yes, yes.
I have a challenge with that. As you know, I was living in Phoenix for the last 9 years, and to be back in Ohio for the last couple of years, it's I get on that struggle bus sometimes in terms of
The
not
gray
having the
weather.
And so I have to, again, be intentional about what it is that I do. And when travel was available to me, I would make sure that I would get out to travel locations that the sun was out there and available, and that would really feed my spirit. I'm a book reader, and so I like to just engross myself in, going to faraway lands or to learn something new, and things that I can do to not be stuck. That's really important. Of how do I stay focused is what I mentioned before, in controlling my controllables. What is it that I can do to stay focused and to know again that this will pass? And so I want to be ready. I want to be prepared for once we go back to, or the new way of doing things, of when that door opens up. And so whatever it is that your viewers may have, a certain career path or a certain life experience that they would like to have happen, this is now the time to take advantage of planning for that.
Yes.
How can I prepare myself right here and right now, of when that door opens up, when that opportunity presents itself, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, this is prime time.
This is prime time.
Prime time. Because I when this was kind of circulating in the news early on, I think earlier this month, I was just kind of like, geez, like there's just so many things that could go wrong during this time. But once I was kind of thrown into this situation, I'm like, wait a minute, there's a golden opportunity here. And I'm like, and now with everybody video conferencing.
How about it?
Hey, this is what I've been talking about.
This is it. This is it. So people have, I'm sure they have projects that they've been wanting to do around the house. They've been wanting to have some sleep. I know people have said, oh, I wish I could take an extended time off from my job. And now that they have it, they're like, what? This is prime time, people.
Prime time.
Prime time to read that book, to work with that coach, to, things that you love and you haven't had a chance to do it.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Because like right now I'm like brushing up on my Spanish, my Espanol.
You Duolingo? Are you doing Duolingo?
Yes. I'm Duolingo. It's so addictive.
Like, ¿Cómo está?
¿Cómo estás? Mi hablo español.
Un poquito.
But yeah, so I've been doing that, and I just been organizing. Like, I had those little piles of paper all over. So I've been shredding stuff. I've been getting organized. I started coloring again, just as to decompress.
Exactly.
So this has been wonderful. I mean, I know that some people might disagree, but I'm just like, this has been great for me. And just being a business person, I mean, there's always something to do, as you know, always something to do. So
yes, I think this is kind of like a sabbatical that I see for everyone. This is a gift, so to speak. I understandably so. There's a lot of stress that goes around it in terms of the many families and people that have been impacted. And my thoughts and prayers with all of us in managing through that. At the same time, the gift of being able to hit the reset and to really connect with family and friends. I think sometimes we've all been on that wheel of just going. And now is a time to slow it down and to really get back to the basics, and get back to self, being compassionate with self, giving ourselves permission to just experience what's happening in one another in a different way. I don't think that we will go back to exactly the way things were.
Right.
I think this will open up opportunities for us to say to ourselves what worked and what didn't work, and to create our new normal. And that's one of the things that I really want to stress with your viewers, is to know that you have a choice. I have a choice. We all have a choice, and not feeling as though that we are that we don't have a voice in the matter. And I would encourage everyone to really soul search and to be reflective of what is this experience bringing up in them, and to begin to work through some of those things. So once again, that they're prepared to go through, and to, once we're on the other side of it, of being ready for what their next is going to be.
I love it. So thank you so much, Tina, for being part of this. And I wanted to give you time to plug yourself shamelessly. And let everyone know where they can reach you.
Yes. And so I am over the moon about Be Intentional. It gives me energy to help women and to help people just transform their mindset and to address their fears and to find their voice. And so I have packaged my 25 years of experience with current day techniques in game changing 60-day virtual coaching private program. And that is taking your life and your career to the next level. And so I look forward to the opportunity to be your sassy motivator, encourager, and accountability partner that has your back. This is my purpose and my gift. I encourage you to be intentional and to create the life that you desire. So my website is jam-packed with a wealth of information, videos, testimonials, and my favorite, the Be Intentional workbook. This workbook is an inside peek regarding my own transformation, and it really includes my own personal journal entries. And so you can really see what I've said in my journals, and a reflection questions to help you too to find your own voice. And the workbook is my gift to you. To download the workbook and to access other gems, go to www.beintentionallife.com. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram at Be Intentional LLC and LinkedIn under Tina Diggs. And lastly, to schedule a complimentary discovery call with me, go to calendly.com/be intentional.
All right. Well, Tina, thank you for joining me on Cooped Up. And I actually welcome everyone to stop by for our next video, whenever that will be. I don't have a deadline on when I'll be posting my next video.
I know it will be soon.
It will be soon. But yeah, if you've been following me, you know how I can be sometimes. But anyway, I'm your host, Tiffany Stacy.